Did you know that it takes 8 minutes for the light of the sun to reach the earth? Well, in 8th grade, that was news to me. I was shocked and my brain started worrying. I wondered, what if there was a book like that? An apocalypse and maybe 4 teenagers who had to save the world? That's a book I'd love to read. And so started the journey. I dove headfirst into writing with no prior planning, no research, just me and my laptop. And I did finish writing the novel eventually, 3 years later. But there were a few things I struggled with along the way, and today, I'd like to share those things with you. Back in 10th, I had all the wonders of 10th in front of me. Science and social science and Hindi and English and maths. All of these subjects I needed to study. Half of these subjects I was afraid of. I was afraid of maths and physics, and I tend to avoid things I'm scared of. So, I turned to writing, the one thing I vowed I will never be tired of. Because I love to write. Writing is my passion, I declared. And so all throughout 10th, I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And voila, I finished my book. By then, we had reached the end of 10th and the decision of streams was hanging over my head. Now all I wanted to do was write. And my family saw that, they recognized my passions and supported my decisions. So I chose humanities with the hope that I would be able to focus solely on writing. But here's the thing, humanities meant history and political science and English as core subjects, and biology and psychology as electives. All of these subjects I liked. None I was afraid of. There was no challenge for me, no need for the escapism that I'd sought so desperately back in 10th. I didn't feel the need to write. Actually, I didn't feel the need to seek validation from any other source but academics. And now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm preparing for my entrance exams, studying maths and a whole lot of other topics I'm not that fond of. And so I write. But now, I don't write to seek validation. I write because I love it, and it's something that gives me happiness in a world full of challenges. Honestly, I truly believe that you need to have some challenges to help you navigate the monotony of life. And that brings me to the challenges I created for myself. Terrible self-deprecating challenges. Robin Sharma once said, "We sabotage our greatness because of our fear." That's what I did. I judged and criticized myself so badly, telling myself, "Misha, what were you thinking? A 16-year-old cannot write. Your characters are so cheesy. Everything you write is so overused. No one will like it." I kept doing that constantly, crashing my own self-confidence. The thing about self-sabotage is that you don't even realize you're doing it. It's your brain's mechanism to avoid change because change is very scary. But change is also the only constant. The word change itself is full of contradictions, and we're also happy ensconced in our bubble of denial that we often don't realize we're sabotaging ourselves. Or even if we do, we cannot pinpoint why exactly we are doing it, why we are choosing to do it. That's what happened to me. I judged myself so badly that there was a point I stopped working on my novel. I stopped writing anything because I was afraid to go further. Now, retrospectively, this was all terribly toxic and unhealthy. And of course, I would choose not to do it again, provided I realize it. Push yourself into the unknown because sometimes it can actually help you reach heights you have never ever soared before. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Oscar Wilde, one of my favorite authors, said this, and I'm still learning and working on this aspect. Back in January 2024, 6 months back, my book was finally published, and so I took to social media to campaign to attract more audience. But I was worried that people wouldn't like the content I put out because it wasn't good enough, or simply put, it was cringe. I was worried that everyone on social media would laugh at me because everything there had to be perfect. And my content definitely wasn't perfect. Far from it. And this embarrassment about my content finally seeped into my novel. I was ashamed of my novel because of whatever reasons I could find. The characters aren't well written or the book is too cliche. Whatever I could find, whatever my mind made up, I used it. My friends tried to convince me otherwise. They said, writing a book is a big deal. We loved it. It was amazing. We cannot wait to see what you write next. All this is just in your head. And maybe it was. And now I know it definitely is. Because what if my book is too cliched? Cliches are cliches for a reason. They're usually everyone's guilty pleasures. So, embrace your weird, own your good, and your bad and everything in between. Honestly, not the entire world is going to love you, and it's time you finally accept that fact and stop trying so hard to please every single person you meet. I'm actually guilty of doing this exact same thing. I overthink conversations I've had. I try to change who I am so that maybe they will like me and I will feel good about myself. But there will always be people who will never give you validation. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you ask, no matter how much you beg for it. And that's okay. That doesn't mean your weird isn't loved by anyone. There will always be those select few people who will always love you, no matter what you do, as long as you are the real you. This, I believe, was the most important thing I learned on my journey. Own yourself. Own everything you are, no matter how you feel about it. Own the way that you laugh, or the way you react to certain situations, or that you speak extremely fast, or that you are a people pleaser. Own every single thing about yourself. Embrace your strengths and your weaknesses. Embrace yourself. Because I have come to realize that it's only once we accept our faults can we work on them to get better. There's always room for improvement, they say. And that's not a bad thing. Believing we are perfect the way we are, that is a problem. Because none of us is perfect. And that's perfectly okay. Because that is exactly what makes us human. As Natasha Bedingfield once sang in her song Unwritten, no one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is the day your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Thank you.